But this guide, it goes even further.
Oh, yeah?
Gets into something kind of, well, fascinating and scary at the same time. The human element.
That's right. Technology's only part of the equation.
Even with the best passwords and all the security bells and whistles, we can still mess things up.
Sadly, true.
So what kind of mistakes are we talking about here? Spill the beans.
One of the biggest ones, it's called phishing. You know, those tricky emails or messages.
Mm-hmm. Phishing. Ugh. Yeah.
They're designed to, well, trick you. Get you to give away your passwords or personal info.
Oh, yeah, I get those all the time. It's crazy how good they look these days.
Right. Like real logos, perfect branding, the whole shebang.
Super convincing. So we got to be extra careful, huh?
Extra careful. Never click links or download anything from emails you weren't expecting, especially if they're asking for your password.
So even if it looks like it's from my bank, asking for my password.
Nope. Legitimate places, they never do that. Never ask for your password in an email.
Got it. So if I'm unsure.
Go straight to the source.
Yeah.
The website, the app, whatever. Verify it yourself.
Good advice. The guide also mentions public Wi-Fi. I'm so guilty of using that. What's the big risk there?
Think of public Wi-Fi like a crowded room. Anyone can eavesdrop.
Oh.
A lot of those networks, they're unsecured. Hackers can sneak in, see what you're sending, what you're typing, everything. Passwords, credit card number, the whole shebang.
So like if I'm doing my banking on the coffee shop Wi-Fi?
It's like shouting that info to everyone around you.
Yeesh. Okay. Maybe not a good idea then. So should we, like, avoid public Wi-Fi altogether?
If you can, yeah, definitely safer.
Huh.
But if you absolutely need it,
Mm-hmm.
this guide really recommends a VPN.
A VPN. What was that again?
Virtual private network. It basically creates this secure tunnel between your computer and the internet. Encrypts everything so no one can snoop.
So even on a sketchy public Wi-Fi, it keeps things safe.
It adds that extra layer of protection, especially for sensitive stuff. Passwords, financial info, all that.
VPNs, got it. Added to the list. Now, what about the passwords we already have? Should we be changing those?
Absolutely. This guide is all about regular updates, especially if there's been, like, a data breach.
Makes sense. How often are we talking, though?
They recommend at least every 90 days.
90 days. Seems like a lot.
It might, but it's a small price to pay, right? And remember, with a good password manager, updating's easy. Click a button, new password, done. Manager remembers it all.
True. Way easier than trying to remember a new one every few months. Okay, so we've got the phishing, public Wi-Fi, updating passwords. What other human errors do we need to watch out for?
Believe it or not, one of the most common, writing passwords down.
Wait, really? Like on a sticky note?
You'd be surprised. It's convenient, but so risky. Anyone can see them.
Totally defeats the purpose. Like locking your front door but leaving the key under the mat.
Exactly.
No writing them down. Got it.
What about sharing? Is it ever okay to share a password?
Ideally, never. But, sometimes you gotta fire. Like sharing a streaming service with family or something.
Right. So how do you do that safely?
Be super picky about who you share with. Make sure they understand it's gotta stay secret.
And maybe make a separate profile for them, so they're not on my main account.
Smart move. Limits the damage if something happens.
Okay, so phishing, public Wi-Fi, updating, writing them down, sharing. Lots of ways to mess up, even when we're trying to be good.
It's true. But knowing about them, that's the first step, right? Phew. Feels like we just went through password security boot camp.
I know, right?
Strong passwords, passphrases, managers, two-factor, all that good stuff. Plus all those little things we do that can totally mess us up.
It's a lot, but important.
Absolutely. So before we go, let's recap. What are the big takeaways? What do people need to do?
Number one, ditch those weak passwords. Gone. Use passphrases instead. Long, random, totally unique.
Like M on H8 board 45 cents.
Exactly. And if you're like, my brain can't handle all these passwords, get a password manager.
Makes life so much easier. And once you've got those awesome passwords,
Two-factor authentication everywhere. Every single important account.
double lock it down.
Yep. And don't forget those human errors. Watch out for those phishing scams. Be careful on public Wi-Fi. And update.
Good stuff. So much good stuff in this deep dive. Any final thoughts?
Password security is not just for tech people anymore. It's for everyone. I mean, think about everything you do online. Banking, shopping, social media, you name it. Your passwords, they're the keys to all that.
The keys to your digital life.
Exactly. Got to protect them. It's like basic common sense these days.
Totally. So to everyone listening, what's the first password you're going to change after this?
Even one little change can make a huge difference.
That's right. Thanks for joining us for this password deep dive.
See ya.